Hello everyone. Let's see about the genetic materials. The first lecture we talked about these common terms used in genetics. So let's see about these genetic materials. Uh, First, we're going to see various other terms we have here. Hereditary characteristics are passed from parents to their offspring through these distinct units, which we call the genes. As we already talked before, there are a lot of genes in the organism's body, and these genes are arranged in a linear manner, making them as chromosomes. Now, the chromosomes are thread-like structures found in the nuclei of all body cells, and the gene is made up of chemical substances called the nucleic acid. Basically, there are two types of nucleic acids found in the cells. These are deoxyribonucleic acid and the ribonucleic acid. Deoxyribonucleic acid is DNA and the ribonucleic acid is RNA. So we're going to see them one by one. Now these acids are made up of building blocks called the nucleotides, and each of the nucleotides consists of three molecules that are linked together. That is the pentose sugar, phosphoric acid, and the organic base. So we'll see them basically one by one. This is the nucleic acids. Moving on, let's see the structure and the formation or the composition of the genetic materials. Here are talking this deoxyribonucleic acid and the ribonucleic acid. Starting with the DNA. In DNA, the DNA determines the physical and the behavioral characteristics of an organism. So the DNA determines, example, the color of hair, uh, eyes, skin, ears, nose, height, ability or inability to roll the tongue, all of it, or partly. Now the DNA is made up of many nucleotides that make the double-stranded. You see what the double-stranded more. Let's see the structure of this the DNA. So when you said about DNA is a double-stranded molecular chain of molecule that is found within the nucleus of the cell. Double-stranded meant that the DNA consists of two strands which twist around each other in a spiral fashion. So the strands twist together in a spiral fashion that we call this making the double strands. Now the DNA is made up of many nucleotides forming a polynucleotide chain, and the polynucleotide means many nucleotides. Now the polynucleotide chain runs in the opposite direction, and each chain is joined to the other by pairs of four bases. Uh, there, there are four bases, namely there is the guanine, cytosine, adenine, and the thymine. So those are the main bases that we joined to the chain. Now the guanine basically pairs with the cytosine, and the adenine pairs with the thymine. So DNA plays a key role in inheritance because it replicates itself during the mitosis and the meiosis processes. As we already talked the what's mitosis in the other videos. Now the DNA also undergoes changes, and it has a generic information of the characteristics of species. Let's see the RNA. RNA basically the structure it consists of only of a single strand of polynucleotide, and the polynucleotide is made up of many nucleotides, as we said also in the DNA. Now each nucleotide consists of nucleobase labels sugar and the phosphate group. Now, RNA sugar is the labels and the not deoxyribose. That's how it is, and the nucleotides contain only one of the four bases that are guanine, cytosine, adenine, and the uracil. So basically, those are the bases in the RNA. Let's see the difference between these two, DNA and the RNA, in terms of what they stand for. DNA, as we said, it stands for deoxyribonucleic acid, while the RNA stands for ribonucleic acid. In terms of definition, it said that DNA is a nucleic acid that contains the genetic uh, information used in the development in the functioning of all living organisms. Basically, DNA's genes are expressed through the proteins that its nucleotides produce within the help of RNA. While RNA can be defined as the information found in the DNA, which determines trains that they are created, activated, or deactivated. In terms of functioning, DNA is a medium of long-term stable storage and the transmission of this generic information. While RNA is functioning, it carries out DNA blueprints guidelines. It transfers these genetic codes needed for the creation of proteins from the nucleus to the ribosome. In terms of structure, as we said before, that the DNA has a double-stranded, it has a two nucleotide strands, which consists of its phosphate group of 5 carbon sugar, the stable 2 deoxyribose, and the 4 4 nitrogen containing the nucleobases that are adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine. While in terms of RNA, the structure is, we said, is single-stranded, is composed of also, basically it was composed of the phosphate group of the 5 carbon sugar, but the less stable ribose and the 4 nitrogen containing nucleobases that are adenine, uracil, not like thymine in the DNA, and the guanine and the cytosine. The other difference in terms of base pairing, in the DNA, the adenine links to thymine and the cytosine links to guanine, while the RNA, the adenine links to uracil and the cytosine links to guanine. In terms of location, DNA is found in the nucleus of a cell and in the mitochondria, while the RNA is basically found depending on the type of RNA. This molecule is found in the cell's nucleus, cytoplasm, and its ribosome. In terms of propagation, DNA is self-replicating, while RNA is synthesized from the DNA when it's needed. So that's all. I hope it's clear.